Hello, greetings friends. Mari Smith here coming to you live from my hotel suite at the Omni, the lovely Omni, downtown Austin, Texas. So I am not in my usual setup and it's a little discombobulated, but I wanted to speak to you guys sooner than later because I've got some important things to share that I've been wanting to share like all week, and I've been on the road teaching at a conference here in Austin. So as it says in the description, above or below, depending if you're watching on desktop or mobile, hopefully the hotel internet will be nice and strong for us here, and I got my little setup going here. I'm going to be able to share my desktop. So I'm coming to you from Blue Jeans. This seems to be stable, nice and stable so far anyway. Like I say, hopefully the audio is okay. It's just the built-in mic. It's not my usual home setup. So what I'm going to do is walk you through specifically 3 things. How to remove or to check all the apps on Facebook, third-party apps that have access to your data that you've authorized. And you might not have realized it. Maybe you've done this already and that's fine. But I also want to talk to you about, as it says in the description, what to do about the data that some of these apps might already have about you on file. Then we're going to switch gears and we're going to look at your ad settings, and there's a crazy amount of data sitting in there that you may not have realized. And then I'm also going to share my phone right quick and just show you a couple settings in there. So here's the thing. Here is the thing, she says. When we, make sure we're coming through and it's being nice. Yep, not too bad. Hi friends, good to see you here. Oh, hi Barbara, Jihan, Unique. Haha, look at that name. Heather Clifford in the house. You got some snow? She's got snowflake there. Too fun. Yeah, not my normal setup, but it's good enough. That's what we're going with today. Thanks for being here. Okay, let's do this. We have some great information to share with you. In a moment, I'll share my desktop. But let me just give you a quick introduction. As many of you probably already know and would agree with me, I see some of my social media friends here, if you're in the industry, I'm sure you've been preaching this for a long time. When the product is free, right, Facebook is free. It's free for 2.13 billion active users all over the world, except China, where WeChat predominates, right? So when the product is free, you are the product. We, us users, are the product. And for 11 years, I have been a passionate evangelist for Facebook, for business. I have always used Facebook for business purposes, predominantly. Obviously, I have personal friends on there, I have family, and I use the features. But I'm always aware of everything I do. I have this filter. I know it's being tracked, it's being watched. I'm careful what I say, even private messages. Same with Google. Really, the same with anything that you do digitally. There's a digital footprint being left. So when the product is free, you're the product. And that thinking has permeated the developer's mind, the platform, the business. And, you know, that's what's happened for the 14 years that Facebook has been in existence, as various iterations of being able to gather vast amounts of data that we are all sharing, whether we realize it or not. And everybody really knows, like we know subconsciously, intuitively, we all know for real, logically, there's no such thing as a free lunch, right? There's no free lunch. In the past, you paid for everything, and then free came along, the big free, right? I mean, Gmail. Do you guys remember? Some of you are you know, been around for a little bit. You've been using the internet for long enough that you remember Gmail when it came out. I forget when this was, early 2000s, somebody remind me. And it was a big deal, right? It was like exclusivity. You had to wait to get an invitation to be able to get your Gmail address. And similarly with Facebook, remember for the first 2 years, from 2004 to 2006, it was only available to select schools if you had a .edu address. So my partner, Christopher, he has a creative mind. He comes up with all these really cool metaphors. And we were talking about this last night, and he's like, you know, it's like transactional trust. Transactional trust, back in the day, you go to buy a loaf of bread. Well, he's really dating himself because he said 5 cents. That's from his parents' days. 5 cents. You hand over 5 cents, you get your money's worth. You know you're getting that loaf of bread for the money you've paid. These days, $5, right? It's gluten-free and organic, non-GMO. Now, that transactional trust is very, very different because it's free, right? We're not paying as users to use Facebook. So it's as if we're kind of being given virtual bread. The transaction's been flipped, where like we're selling our data without realizing it. We're not selling it, but we're not getting rewarded except with a free platform. What we're doing is we're giving our time and our attention and our eyeballs instead of our money. But the store, and let's take this metaphor not too far, but the store owns the bread. We don't even get that bread. The store's eating the bread. Christopher's metaphor was too fun. I made some notes last night. We're paying for it with our time and our attention and our eyeballs. Now, my good friend Gary Vaynerchuk, many of you know Gary V. He and I go back literally 10, 11 years. Wonderful, wonderful person. He's very, very beloved in the community, I know, and doing really well. Wonderful person. And he has said for the longest time that eyeballs are monetizable, right? So that's what wherever our eyes are going on, the internet, on the phone, and then all of that data is being tracked. So as many of you know, of course, Facebook has been facing a lot of heat in the last week now. I think the story began to break a week ago, and around the Cambridge Analytica and the data that had been gleaned from a third-party app. And then the big issue too is that, so that was like 230 million, I believe, of people that had taken that app, Your Digital Life. And then it was a 50 million like friends of those people that their data was accessed. So let me do this. I want to share my screen and talk about a couple key points here as well, and we'll look into some settings because you got to know this. So important, my friends. If I'm going to go over to Zuck, what Zuck said. If you haven't read this yet, I just recommend you do, because this was a statement the other day, and Zuck was actually saying, right, this part right here, he's going back through historically. In 2014, 4 years ago, to prevent abusive apps, let me zoom in to make sure you can see this. I got my laptop propped up on the, whatever this is, a little box here so that my camera's a little more flattering. 2014, to prevent abusive apps, we announced that we were changing the entire platform to dramatically limit the data. Dramatically? Not sure if I would say dramatic. Limit the data apps could access. This is Zuck's words a few days ago. Most importantly, app like Kogan's, that's Your Digital Life, right, could no longer ask for data. This is the key point here. Could no longer ask for data about a person's friends unless their friends had also authorized the app. So, phew, you're like, okay, relief around that, right? So that's no fair. If a person has said, hey, I didn't authorize the app, you don't have rights to access my data. And then Zuck's saying here, we also required developers to get approval from us before they could request any sensitive data from people. These actions would prevent any app like Kogan's from being able to access so much data today. Well, I'm going to show you, and I'm going to dig into my own settings, and you'll probably, if you haven't done this exercise yet yourself, we really encourage you to do so, but you'll see that apps can still access your friends list. They just can't, as of 4 years ago, access all data about your friends. And that's the big issue that we're talking about here. And well, it's one of the many issues, we should say, right? Unfortunately. So let's do this. I'm on my profile. Let me reduce that down so it's not too big. Number one thing we want to do is to look at how many apps have you authorized to access your data without necessarily even knowing it. I'm going to click on the blue triangle, it's a white triangle up top right. You can go in there anytime. You're going to click on settings. Like I said, many of you already done this already, and that's all cool. Settings, and then we're going to go into apps. In a moment, I'll come to ads, but first we're going to apps. Okay? And you can do this on mobile too. If you're the type of person that you only ever use mobile, then you can also do this in mobile. If I have a chance, I'll show you on my phone as well. Now you can see, holy smokes, Mari, what is the dealio here? You have authorized 212 apps. Now I've been eager to get in here and adjust my settings, but I wanted to do this Facebook Live first and communicate with you all and make sure that I was kind of using myself as an example of, you know, what you can do now. So without revealing any of my personal data to you, I've taken some screenshots, and there's some of these apps that are astounding how much data they have. Like Amazon is one of them. Now I love Amazon. I'm like a power shopper at Amazon. I use their app, use it all the time. See here, I'm actually broadcasting to you right now through the Blue Jeans Network. So obviously I have to authorize that. I would not be able to broadcast using my desktop. I'm in a hotel suite. Hello, if you just joined, I'm at the Omni Hotel in Austin. I'm leading a 4-day or 4-part workshop, Facebook marketing workshop for AdThrive Network. But anyway, so some apps you're going to want to for sure continue to authorize, right? If you use a scheduling tool, there's Agora Pulse, right? There's a social media management tool. There's Be Live, another platform that does Facebook Live, right? So I'm going to show you just an example. I've already peeked at. There's nothing in here that's too sensitive, but each one of these, unfortunately, Facebook does not make it easy for you to just go click, 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 or select them all and delete them. But you have to go one at a time. You're going to hover and click the X. Or you can click into it, the edit pencils. I'm going to do this one as about.me. Some of you here might have an about.me page, about.me/Mari Smith, and I set that up literally years and years ago. So if I'm going to click on edit settings, this is going to show me what this app has access to. Now let me zoom that a wee bit. Almost all my apps I have put, you can see all down, it's grayed out a little bit down there, but it's only me, only me, only me, because I don't necessarily want them, you know, posting. I don't want them posting on my profile without me knowing what it is, right? So that's not even a level of security necessarily. That's like a personal preference to say that you don't want an app posting on your profile on your behalf. Now you do have to authorize that if it's like a Facebook Live app, it has to be able to post. So look at all this at about.me. So everything that's public, okay, they can obviously get my name, my picture, and know that I am over 21 years old, in case you didn't know. I'm also female. Other public info. There's what I was telling you, the friend list. Hey, Mike Stelzner, Liz Melver, and 4,900 others, so they can collect your friend list. It's like, why do they need my friend list? Well, many of these apps collect friend lists so that they can make suggestions, especially like games, and to have that layer of that social layer, so that they can go, hey, your friends, you know, are liking this or reading this or jogging over here, whatever it might be. So a lot of apps ask for access to your friend list, and it's fairly innocuous, and especially since that 2014 rule that I just read you with Zuck. If you just joined us, I want to reiterate that Zuck was talking about in 2014. They changed the rules where you could apps would no longer ask for data about a person's friends unless their friends had authorized the app. Okay, so back over here is we're giving them the friend list, but not the data about the friends. They can access all my posts, all my status updates, all my events, all my photos, 3,800 photos, and I'm tagged in 2,400 photos. Why about.me needs to access all my photos? I have no idea. All my videos, my website, which is probably really the only thing I care about them accessing, about you, and then I can post on my behalf. I've got it set to only me. So you could, if you wanted to, go into every single app and do this exercise. It's painstaking and annoying. Otherwise, you can just go down the list and go, yeah, I never use that, never use that. But there's many of these apps that you do use regularly, and you want to continue to log in using your Facebook profile, right? I know if I do, just like it's convenience. Like I see there's Airbnb's logo down there, you know, use them. There's Adobe, you know, Social Bakers, lots of these different apps. I want to be able to just one-click log in with Facebook, but you can definitely go into every app that you want to still use, and you can uncheck any of these blue checks. So I'm going to flip over to my other one. I wanted to show you this one. I actually blurred out because there's some data here that I don't want you to see, like my date of birth. Not really mine, but I just don't want it in recording. So Amazon has a ton, similar to what I showed you with about.me, my public profile, my friend list, custom friend list. See, Isn't that bizarre? Amazon can see lists of friends that I put together in my own private custom friend list. And you know that, right? There's my city birthday, full birthday, including the year. Even though I have it hidden on my profile, I have my year hidden. I don't care, people. I don't mind. You know my birthday and how old I am, but or how young I am. Ha ha ha. But just for security purposes, I recommend that you absolutely do not make the year of your birth visible on your profile. Anywhere. It shouldn't be anywhere online. It's just a little layer of protection for identity theft. That's about it, really. Your city, all your likes, the pages you've liked, and so that I just thought it was interesting. That's all Amazon. With every single app, the next level is if you remove, okay, you go through this whole exercise and you hit that little X, and you think, bang, got rid of that. Here's the thing. You think, that was a close call. That was, 200 apps. I just got rid of all those. Coolio. Now my data's safe. All your data is still with the app company. And this is the part I find just crazy making, really, right? But I mean, I've been thinking so hard about this all week. It's like, what would be the alternative? What else could we even suggest that Zuck and team do? It's beyond, unfortunately, it's just this, they've treated it as a monster. In some ways, there's wonderful things that are, great about. In other ways, it really is challenging that how is it that all these apps have this information on us, and in order for us to say, hey, like let's just say in this example, this was, well, let's take the about.me. Let's say, okay, I'm going to shut down my about.me page, or I'm going to keep it, but I don't want them to access my Facebook anymore. I'm going to have to contact, with every app, contact the developer of the app to ask that they delete any info they may have stored. And of course, this is the big news story that broke and had the whistleblower and Christopher Wiley, and basically Cambridge Analytica, and Christopher even said, I've been reading so much about this, he said all it was a tick box. He just said, Facebook's like, if you deleted the data, check, yep, deleted, and of course it wasn't. And so that's the part that I find like, well, Facebook can't really enforce that. They're talking about doing audits, in Zuck's post, and he goes on quite a bit, obviously, to say, all the things they're going to be doing, right? Restricting further access, investigating apps that had access to large amounts of data, conducting audits and so on, banning them. Okay, well, that's good, and that's a step in the right direction, right, friends? But let me go back over here, and I'm going to show you a couple other things. We're drilling down in here, and choose the info this app can use. Okay, you can go learn more there. Learn how apps can use your info. I'm going to check that. I'm going to hit learn more. This is important to read even, just to kind of just be hip. Just make yourself hip to what's all this about. Just like create an account form, some apps may ask for info before you can use them, so on and so forth. Make it easier to share things with people on Facebook, personalize the content, help you find friends that use the app or the game, speed up the create an account process. We know that, right? It's super easy. Oh, boom, one-click login. But bear it in mind, they literally tell you right here, keep in mind, when you install an app, you give it permission to access your public profile, which includes your name, profile pictures, username, user ID, networks, and any info you choose to make publicly available. You also give the app other info to personalize your experience, including your friend list, gender, age range, and locale. So, and you click on that, it's like, whoa, it's linked. What other info? Facebook. Then that takes you to the data policy. I have to open another tab. So you can literally read all of this and fill your head up with all kinds of stuff. This is the same tab. I just had scrolled down here because I wanted you to see where I've also highlighted same thing really about the friends. When you download or use such third-party services, they can access your public profile, which includes blah, 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 list of friends. Now, this is the part where I'm kind of like, I chose some time ago to max out, right? My friends up to the 5,000. I usually keep a bit of a buffer. I got 4,900 and something. I like adding people when I meet them in person at events. And I love having a larger network of friends, but then you also got your followers. But how crucial is it? It is. It's crucial that each of us has a responsibility and an accountability of these different apps that we're using and allowing access to our friends. Even though, like Facebook says, 4 years ago, they don't give the data out, it's just a friend list for being able to do that personalization, right? And if you've got questions and stuff, I promise I'll come back in and look at them in a moment. So carrying on for our app settings, that's what you got to do. You got to, if you want to remove the info collected by the app, you literally have to contact the developer and say, well, crikey, Murray, how do I do that? Crikey, mate, and let's click into here. How do I contact the developer in an app or game? This is Facebook's help. Tiny little thing. Apps and games are managed by developers outside of Facebook, right? Beyond their controls, third-party companies, yes, they've gotten approval and whatnot to access through the API, but if you need help with an app or game, you must contact the developer. Makes sense, right? Same in the Apple Store or the Android Store. Open the app or game, click report or contact in the bottom right corner. Keep in mind, you may need to give the developers your ID, that's your Facebook ID, to help them solve your problem. And in this case, your problem is you want them to remove your data. If you want, okay, if it's really important to you. If like me, like I am for as long as I've been on the internet, which is 1997, really dating myself now, 97, 98, I always am mindful about where I'm, what sites I'm visiting, what I'm writing, even private messages, emails, everything. You've just got to be mindful. And if you're, I don't know, it's just, there's different opinions out there. Like if you're the super private person, you're also a real strong advocate for nobody should be accessing your data, or if they do, then you should have control over it. Unfortunately, back to what I said in the beginning, like when the product is free, then we're the product, you're the product, right? So it's caveat emptor, isn't it? It really is. All right, so that's the part about apps. I'm pretty sure. Let me just see my little notes here. Settings, apps, app developer settings, did all that. Perfect. Okay, let's do this next. I want to show you the ad part. I told you I would show you the ads. Let's see, I got my phone here. Oh, perfect. I think I can do this. All right. Hopefully, it says I'm sharing QuickTime Player, but let's just see if it plays nice. Where'd she go? Ah, perfect. Okay. So hopefully you can see that. You can see my phone. You can still see me, or at least hear me, more importantly. Let me see. Okay, there it goes. Perfect. I see it's popped up. Okay. All right, good. So what we're doing is we're going to go into Facebook. Facebook, 3 little bars down the bottom. Different if you're on Android. Obviously, this is a iPhone. Now then, we're going to go into settings. Get this right. Account settings. Takes a second to load. Phone's plugged in. I don't know why it always says 9:41 a.m., but it's actually 6:48 p.m. Central. Yep, perfect. So here's the exact page I want to be on. This could just be easier for you to do, mobile if you're just, you've got some spare time or something. So you got all of these different settings. You're going to scroll down, and in that very bottom section, I guess again, it's kind of low priority. But Zuck did say that in his announcement, by the way. Did you see that? That he said they're going to give it much more priority in the newsfeed. You'll see it actually saying, hey, here's how to adjust your app preferences and who has access. If we tap on apps, you're going to see the exact same thing. Remember, we had 212. It's right there. I've authorized 212, so I'm going to go over and tap that very top one. Logged in. Like I say, you might find this easier to do on mobile. Let's see if we can find that. Oh, that's interesting because it says sharing with public, sharing with friends. They have them in a different order here. Sharing with friends and sharing with only me. Yeah, wonderful. Thank you, Facebook. It's interesting they put those in categories on mobile, but not on desktop, right? Anyway, there's the about me because I knew that I knew that was okay. I'm going to tap into that, and I tap into it again. Same thing, right? That you have to go look at that. How many swipes and taps and keystrokes was that? Now I have to go all the way down there, and there you have remove app. And you have to do that literally for one by one. So that's irritating. That is some serious homework that I have for myself that I will be doing. And actually, while I got my phone up, I'm going to switch topics and go to that camera and microphone setting, and then we'll come back and we'll do the ads. I really want you to see ads. You can check ads on mobile as well, actually. So when you come out of Facebook, this is not crucial, but I just think it's something to just be aware of, and there's been a lot of information out there about it, like is Facebook really listening to you, is watching you. If you're super paranoid, you might want to do this, or not. I shouldn't say paranoid. I don't mean to be disrespectful about it, but if you're the type of person like you really want to just have your lockdown privacy, you might want to do this. So go into your settings, scroll to privacy. Oops, I'm going past it. Privacy, like that. Go. And two main things in here, if you want, I mean, again, bearing in mind, it's similar, very similar to when you've granted access to Facebook apps and then you're using them for the one-click login, and or like me, you're using like a third-party app to broadcast on Facebook, then obviously it has to have access. But if you want, like here's a microphone. Easy, all of these apps have got in here that have access. If you wanted to, you could say, okay, Facebook, no, and there's Instagram, no. But you know what? Then you're going to have to come back in here each time you use it, and you're doing any Facebook Lives. Are you doing any stories? For me, I use Siri all the time, so I'll dictate a status update or dictate a message. There's 4 apps there, right there: Instagram, Facebook Creator, Messenger, Facebook Page. They all have access to my microphone. Now, I don't know. Does Facebook listen to you on your phone? There's been some speculation out there about it. I saw some guy, I think up in Canada, right? I think that was a video on YouTube, and he and his partner were just talking about cats. We're talking about cats for like 24 hours, and then they suddenly start seeing ads for cat litter. Is that? I don't know. Is it for real? I don't know. I read that post and I thought it was pretty scary. Camera, same thing. You can turn it off. Facebook Creator, Messenger, Facebook Page, all of these apps have access to my camera. And again, but the thing is, if you're doing Facebook Live, or you're taking photos, or you're making some kind of creative product, then your Spark, and I don't know what Airbnb needs access to my camera. Amazon, because I use like the scan package or scan product, right? With the Amazon app, you can scan a product and it searches it for you, so it needs access to your camera, right? So that's that. Now then, let me go back to my desktop, and I'm going to dive into those ad settings as well, and then I'll see if you guys got any questions, and then I got to stop for dinner. Okay, back over here, that's perfect. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. All right. Finally, third part. First was the apps, obviously, and the app developer, the information. Then, if you wanted to, your camera and your microphone settings on your phone. And then now I'm going to go back into my settings again. Oops, not on that screen. I think I'll just do it over here. Leave that plain. Oh, actually, it's already here. So again, to get to the screen, friends, the little triangle top right and settings. That's where we land on right here. And then once we're in settings, in this case, I'm now going to go to ads. This is utterly fascinating and slightly scary. You want to really familiarize yourself with this section, my friends. So first off, you've got your interest. This is Facebook telling you how they can target you with ads. And I know as a business, because we're always wearing these two hats, right? My fellow Facebook marketers, Facebook advertisers out there, over 6 million, will be closer to 7 million advertisers on Facebook. And so this is this double-edged sword where as users we're like, okay, yep, you know, I don't really know what Facebook's got on me, but oh well, caveat emptor, right? We're the product. But then as a marketer, we're like, oh my God, look at all this targeting I can do. Like laser granular targeting. So, but just familiarize yourself, like how deep all this is, your interest. So for instance, here's my friend Bill, here's Infusionsoft. So you can hover over any of these. If you don't want the ads to be shown to you under these interests, you can X each of them out. But I mean, I wouldn't, unless you see something in here that's completely erroneous, I wouldn't worry too much about it. I just want you to be aware of what's in here. So Infusionsoft says you have this preference because you clicked on an ad related to Infusionsoft. Well, I did. Actually, I'm a long-time Infusionsoft user. It's 2009, but you can hover and click on any one of these. That's my own page right there. I've liked a page related to Mario Smith. No, wait, that is me. But let's do that. So it's going to show me examples of ads created by advertisers trying to reach people with this interest. Other criteria also influence who would see this. So Microsoft Cloud Platform targets people interested in Infusionsoft. Fix your funnel. All kinds of other things in here. So you could go, oh my gosh, okay, no way, those ads are they're not even remotely related to me. I don't want that. And you just X it out. You know, and off it goes. News intended people, all this stuff, more. Look all these categories. Lifestyle, call it family relationships, other, you name it, all kinds of stuff. So that's your interest, right? That's all that's in there, interest. Then the next level is advertisers you've interacted with. Now this part I do want you to pay close attention because it's going to show you all the advertisers you've interacted with that have your contact information. It even says right here, review advertisers whose ads you may be seeing currently because you're on their customer list. This one I find, I just even at a glance, I like, no way, I'm not a customer. I didn't subscribe to them. I didn't subscribe to them. I know I didn't subscribe to that. Didn't subscribe. Okay, Airbnb, yep, I'm an Airbnb customer. I have used them before. But so many are like, never even heard of them. Like, why would it be on these people's list? I don't know. Right? It's just like, so you just want to be aware of that, right? And you can hit the X and you can remove. You hid all ads from this advertiser. Oh, thanks a lot, Facebook. That means all I did was hide the ads, but that advertiser still has me on their customer list, right? You see a pattern here? Similar to the app developers. You can remove and revoke access and revoke permissions, but it's like bolting the stable door after the horse has already left. The horse is already out there in the field. Right? So again, we just got to be aware. Whose website or apps you've used. Okay, I got nothing in there. Whom you visited. For some reason, nothing there. Whose ads you've clicked. All these ads have clicked. And what's it going to tell me? Report. We don't want to do that. Or hide. So we can just hide. So same thing. I've already interacted with them, so that's okay. Let me just move my camera up in the corner there. Whom I've hidden. Okay, actually, I'm not going to show you that. I don't want to incriminate myself. But I was amazed. I couldn't believe how many ads I'd hidden. There's many in there. I was going to go back in and unhide. And I know why. I know why a lot of those ads I had hidden, because these ones, the ones you're looking at right now, are the ones I've clicked on. But the ones I've hidden are because of the advertiser did not know about the frequency. They kept showing me the ad long after I'd even signed up for their product. They kept showing me the ad. So anyway, each and every one of these you can kind of, do some things with them. You can either hide them. I wouldn't report them unless they really are, spam or whatever. Ad settings. Now the next section, this might be closed, so you want to go in and look at your ad settings, okay? Ads based on your use of websites and apps. That's an on-off toggle. Online interest-based ads. You can see I have mine turned to no, but you could, if you wanted to, have it on or off. And it's basically, If you visit, so it says, if you visit travel websites, you might then see ads on Facebook for hotel deals. It's like related interests. You might know as an advertiser, that's one of the checkboxes that you can expand the interests. And that is done by this setting for those users who've chosen to have it on. You can see I have mine off. Actually, it's not, I don't know. I think I'm going to enable it. For now, we're just going to have a peek and see if my ads suddenly start changing. Turn off interest-based ads, you'll still see the same number of ads, but they may be less relevant to you. Okay. So you may also see ads based on things you do on Facebook. Okay. So that's fine for there. Wait, ad settings, there's a couple more settings in here. Ads on apps and websites off of the Facebook companies. Again, this is a toggle on or off. If you allow your Facebook ad preference to be used, you'll see ads that are more interesting and relevant to you. Now, this is the interesting thing, friends, about ads, because the various studies that Facebook has done out there, literally for years, it proves that users would, or people, general consumers, would always prefer to see ads that are highly targeted, highly relevant. In other words, we know Facebook's free, we know it's monetized by ads, we're okay with the ads being there, but don't show irrelevant ads. Don't show me ads about kids if I don't have kids, or whatever the case might be, right? So we actually want the ads to be relevant and interesting. And it says if you don't allow your Facebook ad preference to be used, you'll see ads that won't be as relevant to you. You may still see ads for other reasons, such as the public stuff, right? Age, gender, so on it goes. I don't mind because I'm in the Facebook business. I'm in the business of, teaching Facebook marketing, Facebook ads. I have that enabled. I like to study Facebook ads. The third aspect you might want to edit, depending on what you have. There's only 2 settings on this one as well. This is what's called ads with social actions. You see your social actions paired with ads. People want to know what their friends like, says Facebook. That's why we show ads to your friends based on actions you take, such as liking a page or sharing a post. So this setting applies to your likes, follows, comments, shares, app usage, check-ins, recommendations, events you joined that appear with ads your friends see. Ads like this will only be visible to people who have permission to view the action you've taken. So that's again back to this piece where I said, everything leaves a digital footprint. Being aware that every keystroke, every tap on your phone, touch screen, it's creating an impression and it's being tracked and stored. And so just being mindful of that. Whatever you've liked, followed, commented on, shared, checked in events, if you have got this setting on, so you could say no one, which you might want to lock that down. Again, you're more of a private person. You might want to say no one. I don't want people seeing my activity and then having that paired with an ad. At the moment, I do actually have mine with only friends. Hey, Christopher. So that's, again, just being aware. You might not even have known that was in there, and you're busy liking and recommending and doing all kinds of stuff and checking in, and then all of a sudden you wouldn't even know. You'd be blissfully unaware that your name, like this mock-up ad right here, is appearing next to ads. Essentially, the part that I'm not so keen on is essentially you're basically endorsing. You're endorsing. So in this example, Jasper's Market, and my friends might see this. Jasper's is a totally made-up example. Jasper's is saying, Mari Smith is endorsing and thumbs-upping this business. So that's why we have to, again, be mindful that everything we do, in essence, everything we do online is a form of endorsement. You're commenting, you're liking, even following, even when you think you're being stealth. I don't want to put the fear of God in everybody, but we've got to make sure that we're aware and we're responsible and we have these settings the way we want them. Okay, so let's see. Hide ad topics. Okay, this is an important one to look at as well. Hi, Joey. You may or may not have be aware that this was even here. This is only personal to you. Okay, so you can see, I actually have permanently hidden all ads about alcohol. I don't need to see ads about alcohol. I do not drink. I'm teetotal. for health reasons, and that's fine. Not that I'm against drinking. Hey, I'm Scottish. We like our drink. I've just chosen to not see ads about alcohol, and I don't drink. Parenting. I'm not a parent, so I actually got that one turned off. So even if someone tried to target me, I'm not going to show up in that. Hide ads about this topic, and it says temporarily or permanent. Pets. Do I have that? Oh, that one is not actually. No, I could if I wanted to, but I'm in between pets. I don't have a pet, but I used to. You can also, as it says here, suggest other topics. So you can tell Facebook, these are the things that I don't want to see ads about. And that would be kind of important to think about. If you keep seeing ads around the specific topics and they're just not relevant to you, go ahead and pop them in there. Okay? So it might also be useful for you to click on that last one there to just really familiarize yourself with how Facebook ads work. This is really interesting and informative. You can see these little sections down over here. You can just scroll down and really get a sense of, like, if you haven't done much yourself with Facebook ads, I think it's really important section to read so that you are familiar on the user end, like on the ad recipient, the receiver end of an advertiser. You're like, okay, now I get how that really works. And now I'm going to be a better, more responsible advertiser. And they define who they want to reach based on factors like interest, age, location, and more. And this is the beautiful thing, right? Again, it's like that, as I say, it's that double-edged sword, because we're like, I love Facebook, love using it. It's great for connecting and, networking and great for personal use and all that, having a platform. And then on the business side, oh my gosh, it's so amazing. There's no other platform like it to be able to target the exact people we want to reach. It shows you how they reach people through these different goals and targeting, how the system decides what ads to show you, information shared with the business, these customer lists that I showed you that I didn't know I was even on. Pixels, you visit a website, you have to know that you've been cookied, you've been pixeled, location, on it goes. And there's this whole section we just went through, so you can have more control over the ads that you do see. All right, so give them feedback from the ad, manage your ad preferences, manage your ad settings. Okie dokie. So I got to that as you were just going in there. Just remember, if you joined late, you're going to click on the down arrow up here. We're on desktop, of course. And you go into settings, and then we went into ads. And then you can go and look at all of these sections. And they make it fairly user-friendly once you kind of click in and dig in and get in there. And then I'll get to some. Setting on my phone. I'm not sharing it just yet, but I wanted to see if there was anything that was. I wanted to get down on this recording. Yeah, okay, so it's very similar. It's very similar. Let me walk you through it just for the heck of it. For those of you that are like, you just prefer to use your phone. Maybe you're like just a, phone ninja. Let me do this. Start sharing. Okay, so it should be back to sharing my quick time. Make sure that I pull it up. There she is. Okay. So again, this is everything I just walked you through on ads, similar to what we did with apps. Totally can do everything we just did on desktop, we can do on mobile. Okay? Go to Facebook, or hamburger, as it's called, or veggie burger. 3 little lines down there. Scroll down. Settings. Account settings. Tick, tick, tick. Wait for it to load. That was quite fast because I think it already loaded before. It's right next to apps in the very bottom section. Before we looked at apps, now I'm going to look at ads. Super fascinating in here. So, like, here's all my interests. We talked. Oh my gosh, did you even know this was all in here? Facebook has all of this that says I'm interested in. Interesting. I'm interested in movies, music, yoga, clothing, and a lot of this is actually, yeah, it's just extraordinary how much is in here. Look at all that. News and entertainment, 118. Shopping and fashion. In fact, some of this is there's even more information in here that's sometimes it's actually easier to navigate inside of mobile. There's the advertiser you interacted with, right? And the ones I clicked, people with my contact info, Go like that. Look at them all. And then each one, I can tap on the three little dots. And the only thing I can do, I can't, from inside of Facebook, I can't, just like the apps, I can't say, hey, tell this advertiser to delete my contact info. Can't do that. You've got it individually. You really wanted to. You really wanted to. That's just insane, that huge list of advertisers. Oh, that's supposedly, no, that's advertiser with my contact info. Wow, that's insane. Wow, so anyway, oops, there's the hidden ones. Interacted with, your information, ad settings. Oh, this was a setting. I'm so sorry because I actually forgot to get to this one on desktop. I missed it. It's under your information, and this is what some of the ads you see are because advertisers are trying to reach people based on information that you know you've provided in your profile. So I only have my job title. I'm actually my own employer. I didn't actually mind. I'm going to change that because I'm actually self-employed. So I'm going to slide that over there. Don't care. I don't share my relationship status publicly. Everybody knows a wonderful soulmate. Education, interested in, no, that's it. Don't need all that. Then it's got all your categories. We just saw, oh yeah. I missed this in desktop. This one, friends, I didn't know this was in here. Unbelievable. Facebook knows that I'm an expat from the UK. How the heck do they know that? Based on stuff they've collected about me. They know, obviously, I use my own mobile device a lot. I'm on 4G, I'm on Wi-Fi, I'm on Mac OS, smartphone. What else? I'm a commuter. No, I'm not. I work at home. My birthday's in August. I'm away from my hometown and I'm away from my family. Close friends of expats. Each one of these, if you wanted to, like, let's say I'm going to edit that commuter. I'm going to tell Facebook to remove that category. Okay, remove commuters. Now, all it is again with that ad targeting, right? It's basically that I would rather see these more targeted ads. I'm right there with all these folks that Facebook's ever surveyed that, you know, we'd rather see ads that are closely targeted, but that is how it's being done. And Trust your categories. Got it. Okay, easy peasy. All right, let's get that on the recording for the folks watching the replay and for folks here too. I'll just review that for anybody who's doing this on their fully on their desktop. So again, back under here, we were in settings, ads, and I missed this section here, your information. And that's exactly where we just were on mobile. That's funny, I had slid that over, but it didn't catch up yet. Probably I didn't hit refresh. So you've got your about you, this is all shared, whether you can choose it on or off, and then there's all your categories. And if you don't want them in here, does it take commuter off already? Yes, it did. Frequent travelers, oh my gosh. Right? Facebook page admins. I own an iPhone 7 Plus. That is true. I use Chrome. Oh, commuters is still there, right? Family-based households. So anything that you don't want, it's even like I never share anything about my political views, and yet it's put this in here. US, I'm actually going to take that off because you don't need to know what my political views are. Yeah, anyway, it's mind-boggling, right, friends? Phew, wow, that was a lot. That was a lot to get through. So, let's get to a few questions. Let's put this in here. And let me. I'm so sorry that the audio is not as strong as it could be. As I said, I'm in a hotel room. As you can tell, I'm on my laptop with my built-in mic. I have my little, if my friend Dave is in the house, my iOgrapher, and anyone else that uses iOgrapher, I could not figure out how to get my lav mic to work with my laptop. I know there's a little setting somewhere, and I like, okay, Mari, I just got to do this. So hopefully it's good enough. Hey, Beth, let's see. Anita said she did all hers. Yep. Thank you, Joshua. I said this is gold. Scene. Thank you, Denise. Good. Good. Okay, we're going to be clicking around tonight. Okay, good. Sweet. I'm glad that this was helpful. And yeah. You're welcome, Christine. She says the brick and mortar world looks like a better place to shop. Yeah, but every time you use your credit card, that's all tracked. Wow, Marcy says she has 8 ads that she's interacted with. Oh, Barbara, what about the info you share in Facebook groups, closed and secret ones? Anything on Facebook is tracked and stored in your kind of personal dossier, if you will. What Facebook doesn't do, Barbara, though, is they wouldn't say to an advertiser, here's some information that Barbara Clark shared in this group called blah, blah, blah group. That part is anonymized. In fact, Facebook never reveals the identity of the target market, right? You might know you're targeting women aged 35 to 44 that live in Dallas, Texas, that have 2 kids under the age of 4, that drive this car, that work at that job, but you're not going to know that their name is, Jane Smith or whatever. Adam says, what's for dinner? I'm not sure yet. I'll have to call in room service. Okay, so I'm not seeing all of the comments here right now, but I will pop back in later to go ahead and answer on typing. Aunt Christine, she's so funny. Pelicano, not to brag, but I've cleared my settings, logged in with Facebook at least monthly. Oh, good for you. She clears her settings, logged in with Facebook at least monthly. That's a great habit. That's a great healthy habit. Yeah. Oh, Holly, yeah, my kitty's in kitty heaven. That's what she says. What happened to baby the kitty? Yeah, she got sick. We had to send her up to kitty heaven. That was 2 years ago now. No, 2 years? 2 or 3 years. It might be 3. I'm long overdue getting another kitty. Clearly. Wendy, is Facebook going to dramatically change after this dilemma, do you think? Great question, Wendy Miller. And no, not dramatically change. And I think it's really interesting because obviously we've had this incredible PR, worldwide PR, I shouldn't say PR, I say like press disaster, saga, drama to deal with. And it's really, honestly, it could even just be like the tip of the iceberg. There might be some more challenges that we're going to be discovering. I don't know, and Zuck might have to testify before Congress. When he was interviewed on the big media interviews this week, they were saying, you're pressing him, are you going to be the one to show up? And he's like, if I'm the most knowledgeable and the right person to do the job, then yes, I will. Otherwise, it'll be somebody else. Really, really interesting. Yeah, so we'll see. I don't think it's dramatically going to change. I think the vast majority of users are actually not even aware of what's going on necessarily. I think that all you here are savvy and smart, and you're dialed in, and you're, most especially most like business users, where you're both personal and business, you're more hip to the whole conversation about data and privacy. And but I think maybe there's a lot of users out there that just kind of using Facebook for games and don't really even care, unfortunately. And so we'll see. Yeah, we'll do, Cynthia. Please put in notes how to reach settings on iPhone. You bet. Marcy, so once you shut down the app from accessing your info, then no more will get to them, but your old stuff is still there. Precisely, Marcy, precisely. Now then, you'd like to think that there's some, you just gave me a thought here, Marcy. You'd like to think that there is a kind of checks and balances and a level of accountability that the moment you revoke access to that app, it's going to create some kind of a two-way ping to the developer and go, hey, Marcy just revoked access, wipe out all data. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? I mean, that would be, surely they even have the technology to do that. But you're absolutely right. At the moment, that is how it works. You can revoke access, you can delete the app, they can no longer get anything else from you, but the data is still there. As Adam's saying, the data is stored forever unless you've got a way of somehow doing this two-way street where we, the consumers, we, the citizens, say, No more. Relationships ended. You delete my data. You know. So as Anita says here, yes, that's how it should work. Indeed, right? You're right. And Adam's saying your phone and browser stores everything. It's true. I don't know, like all you Gmail users out there, I use Gmail too. And, Gmail, same thing, is free, right? So if it's free, is it really free? No, we're the product, right? So you know that Gmail reads your email in order to put those ads at the top. That's how the ads are targeted and placed, is because Gmail is reading your email. Now you'd be like freaked out about that, right? But I don't know. You know what? Back in the day, literally like 10 years ago, it was 11 years ago now, I was first getting started with Facebook. And I used to think to myself, wow, I still kind of think this. I'm optimistic. I'm always a positive, optimistic person. And I was like, wow, social media and Facebook are providing this new opportunity, this new context, this new environment to invite us to step up and be better citizens, better human beings, more accountable, more, if possible, more transparent to the degree to which we're comfortable. You don't have to put your whole private life online, but to be more mindful about, is what I'm about to do helpful and uplifting and going to add value, or is what I'm about to do about my ego or self-serving, or is it going to take away from someone or something else? And again, that optimistic side of me always wants to think, gosh, if only more of us were like just stepping up and being able to recognize the beautiful opportunity that we have in using the internet and using social sites and being able to connect and build community all over the world. My God, I'm starting to sound like Zuck now. But I really do mean it from the heart. I mean, there's so much about Facebook that I love and I always will love. And I don't think they're going to change too radically, but they do have to clean up the issue around the data. And I think that the most challenging part about this big story of the Cambridge Analytica is that Facebook were apparently aware for like 2 years that there was a big issue out there. So Christine Bode. Christine says, thank you so much for doing this, Mari. As a social media manager for musicians, I've had clients panic this week about this issue. And some are really disheartened about using Facebook or are downright upset about giving any more ad money to clerks. I really appreciate giving me something to share with them so they can figure out what apps they want to revoke and how to do that. You're so welcome, Christine. My pleasure. I know I'm actually apologize for the delay in getting this all to you. I've been in Austin, I don't even know what day it is. It's Friday. I flew out here on Wednesday morning, and yesterday, if you didn't see, I met the one and only Randy Zuckerberg. So I was actually speaking at this event here with Mark Zuckerberg's sister. And what a nice lady. I was really looking forward to meeting her. I know a little bit about her, and we met in the green room, the speaker green room. We're having a nice chat, got a little selfie, of course. And I'm like, can I total fangirl and get a selfie? I'm much taller than her. You might have seen the photo. I'm 6 feet tall, and then I wear 3-inch heels, so I kind of tower over a lot of people. But she's just a nice person, and she did a good talk, a good keynote, and she touched a little bit on the challenges around Facebook. But she left the company, and she said just before they went public, she was with them 7 years, the first 7 years, and then she left around 2011. And so from 04 to 11, and she pursued her dream of being a Broadway star. But then she also has an agency. She has a Siri radio show. Very successful entrepreneur. She's a neat lady, so it was fun to meet her. Sylvia, I wonder if anyone has ever read the Facebook discloses when you signed up for it. Oh, like the terms, yeah. I know what you mean, the terms. What's funny? I gotta tell you. So here I am. I'm at this the Omni Hotel in downtown Austin. Nice building. Barely been outside. Been at this event. I'm teaching. I did a keynote yesterday, and I'm literally teaching a 4-part workshop. Part 1 last night, part 2 and 3 today, and then we've got part 4 tomorrow. for about 300, we've got 350 bloggers here, bloggers and publishers with the Advertisers Network. Great group, wonderful. But internet, so I go to get my Wi-Fi, and I'm logging on my phone and my computer, and of course you put the username and the password in there, like or your room number, name, whatever it might be, and my light's flickering, my selfie light's flickering. I think the battery's about to go. It's looking like a disco light. I'm going to do this. I'm going to turn it off. It might still be okay. Or I'll put a different battery into it. I literally had, look, I have my selfie diva light clipped to my laptop. It started to flicker there. Back to the internet. I was like, okay, I'm signing up for the internet, and I'm just seriously just like thinking through, being more mindful about what did I just agree to? I just accepted their terms, but I didn't actually this part because I'm just being like more thinking through what exactly am I giving them permission to do. You know, and I went and I read the Omni Downtown Austin Hotel. I read their whole policy, and then it said something like, you also agree to our privacy policy, but that wasn't linked, so I don't know where their privacy policy was, but I was just like being, you know, Miss novice attorney here. Not an attorney, but anyway. Yeah, Adam, totally agree. He's saying you should use a VPN. You're absolutely correct. Yeah, with the amount of travel I do, I totally should. Really good point. Thank you, Stephanie. It's very kind of you to say. Appreciate that. Hey, Bruce. Bruce Barnes is saying, apps say they access certain info on your device, and you have to agree to that in order to use it. When you revoke access to some of those things, wouldn't that then stop you from using that app? You're absolutely right, Bruce. Yeah, that's why I was saying earlier at the beginning, you know, you can decide, and it has all that information. It will alter the experience that you might have with that app. Like, for instance, like as I say, like with Blue Jeans here in broadcasting with third-party Facebook Live, I have to authorize it to be able to post as my page on my behalf. If I don't do that, there's no way I can use this app. Other ones like, you know, I suppose like Words with Friends, you can use Words with Friends app on your phone or desktop, and you can use it with a login and not even connected to Facebook. But if you want to play Words with Friends with your Facebook friends, then you know you have to have it connected to Facebook. So anyway, lots of great questions. I'm sure that you have more questions that I did not see because of the way that this is set up, but that's okay. I will go back in after my dinner, and I will as best I can answer some questions. So I am going to just let me take this off here and unplug, and I'm going to just show you. I'm on the 18th floor. I've got to just show you. I always like to show. As I'm in a suite, this really nice suite on the 18th floor of this building. Look, all the way down there, and it's the Omni, so it's like across the way is office buildings, and then it's like half hotel and half office buildings. Whee, way down there. And they got the fun glass elevators, and it's nice building, nice service, good peeps here. So I'll take you on a tour of my suite, except there's some aspects of it are kind of messy. Not really. Listen, it's been great chatting. Promise I'll get to some more of your questions. Thanks for the not as good audio. I don't have my perfect mic with me tonight, but I really wanted to chat with you guys sooner than later. Hope this has been valuable. Feel free to share with your friends, your fans, and whatnot. And we will talk again real soon. Love you bunches. See you soon. Ciao for now.